So, hi gentlemen.
Hello.
Hi. We're back with our third installment of the Manhunt Singapore alumni interview series. Today in the Beam Artists office, we have Manhunt Singapore 1999 winner Eddie O on the left, and three of our Manhunt Singapore 2014 finalists, Wesley E,
Hey.
Alfred Tan, and Nigel Wu.
Hey.
So, first a question for Eddie. Welcome back, Eddie. It's been 15 years since you won Manhunt Singapore back in 1999. What have you been up to since then?
Glad to be back. Happy to be invited for this interview to begin with. I've been busy trying to do a lot of soul searching, but on a practical note, I've been focusing on my car business.
Okay.
I've started my own car dealership known as Caring Auto. So that's what's keeping me, or rather that's my driving force.
Okay, well, if you let us have the URL and all that, we'd be happy to let the fans know.
Very simple, caringauto.com.sg.
Caring Auto.
That's right.
Cool. So what else, have you found that Manhunt has changed you in any way, or has helped you develop?
It was a sense of accomplishment, given where I came from, being an obese kid. Again, what I would say, a breakthrough in my life. Definitely, it marked a milestone which I have overcome. So, well, success is a journey, it's not a destination.
Was it quite a wow moment for your friends and families and perhaps people who made fun of you before?
Definitely, without a doubt. Yeah.
Okay. Have you kept in touch with any of your fellow finalists from back then?
Some of them. We still run into each other from common events and mutual friends.
Okay. Now, based on your press interviews back then, you were well known for being the Manhunt Singapore winner who went from fat to fit. So, what was your reason for joining the competition back then?
Really, my whole life has been centered upon going against the odds. So it all started in my childhood days when I was often teased by my neighbors. So I looked at the mirror and asked myself, what can I change about myself that can change my life? So the answer was simple, to change me. And then it boils down to what is within my control. Simply my lifestyle, my choice of diet, my choice of activities. So incrementally, little changes led to big accomplishments.
Back to the next question. Coincidentally, like you, Eddie, our three Manhunt contestants here who are with us today have also had great successes in transforming themselves from fat to fit. Could we get all four of you to share with us how old were you at your chubbiest and what was your height and weight back then?
Starting with
Eddie. Which one's yours? Okay, so show us the picture.
I think this was back in primary 6 or maybe secondary 1 days. It's around about the age of about 10 to 12. At that moment, I just finished a bowl of I think curry rice or something. That explains the stains. So,
okay.
well, I can see them still. Technology back then wasn't that bad.
Okay.
So bottom line is, I think at that stage I was easily close to about maybe 80. This height would have been, 12 or 13 years old, probably a meter or so. I recall my highest point was about 90 kgs. It's really too much to carry.
And how tall are you now?
Right now, 176.
Okay. And next, Wesley.
Hello. Well, this
Show
was when
us.
I was,
Show us, come on. How old were you?
this was when I was secondary 4. I just finished my O-levels, chemistry. This is a pure chemistry book. Yeah, I was going out with a friend to have lunch,
Okay.
which typically comprised of maybe one whole chicken between the both of us and 2 plates of rice each. Yeah. I was Probably I'd say 17, I guess 170, and I probably weighed around 70 kilos. I think, probably more.
Okay.
Can't really tell. I can't really remember. But this was not my chubbiest actually. But I do look horrible. I have to agree.
What was your chubbiest then?
Chubbiest, I nearly hit 90 kg after my O levels because I was typical geek nerd. You know, I played a lot of computer games. The only thing my life revolved around was eating, playing, and sleeping. Like serious. So yeah, I didn't move around a lot. So I just snacked and played computer games, I guess. Yeah. So that's happened.
Okay. Now, next, Alfred. Go on, show us. Oh, ain't that cute?
I think
how old were you?
Okay, actually, I think this picture was taken in Thailand. I was on a trip with my parents and sister, my family basically, on vacation. I think this was when I was secondary 1 or 2, around there. I think this is about I remember quite clearly it's about below 1.6 or 1.5 something, because I shot up only in Sec 3 to 1.7 something. Then before that I was going around 1.5, 1.6, and probably weighing about 75 kg to 80 kg. So quite round. You can see my tummy from my shirt, even though it was a very baggy shirt.
Hello.
Yeah. So this is also not really my heaviest point.
Okay.
I did make a change in life when I was in Sec 3. So started shooting up and playing basketball, running track and field.
What was your biggest then?
It was after army actually, my uni year 1, when I went back to uni. I was about 95 kg, but I am actually 180 cm now. So I still actually continued gymming, but I was really fat and like fat bulk. Yeah, fat bulk. People will know what I mean by that. And that was the time where I was studying. So exams is just like eating and studying, eating and studying for uni. So I guess actually I think it's a lifestyle problem. But I managed to change my life again because I already knew how to do it once and did it again now. That's why I'm here today.
Okay. Nigel, your turn.
Alright. Okay, this picture actually was at my chubbiest actually.
Okay.
you don't see my body, my face tells everything. So like, yeah.
How old were you?
Taken, when I was, if I'm not wrong, I was, wow. Okay, this was like taken in Sec 1 or Sec 2. I was around 160. I was quite short back then, so it was like 160, and I was weighing in about 74 kilograms, 74, 75. So it might not be a lot by that height. Yeah, my whole thing, yeah, so I was really quite round back then. So, actually this photo was taken in scenaries, after serving mass with my friends.
Okay.
So usually every Sunday I'll serve mass, and after that I'll go for breakfast with my parents and everything, and I'll eat a lot because I love food back then, and until now I still love food right now. So I remember all the stuff I would eat.
Okay, so give us an example of sinful meals and snacks back in your chubby days.
Oh, I would take a jar of peanut butter, sit in front of the TV, take a spoon, and finish whole jar in one movie sitting.
Okay, Alfred?
My favorite sinful food is pizza and McDonald's.
Okay.
Because my grandma used to bring me out for McDonald's after school because I hate the school food.
Okay. Wesley?
3 Big Mac meals upsized in one sitting.
3 Big Mac meals.
There was a point in time, there was a mad cow disease scare, and the Big Macs were ridiculously priced. So
As in cheap?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so 3 Big Mac meals upsized.
Okay. And Eddie?
Record was 7 dumplings in a row.
What kind
In
of
one
dumplings?
sitting. The traditional rice dumplings.
Oh.
7 parts. Oh
In
my
one sitting.
god.
Okay. So, not bad.
Either that or a whole tub of Milo Gold ice cream.
And how you know ice cream
Whilst watching
Yeah, I've done it before.
Chinese drama.
Okay. So do you guys still have cravings for these things these days?
Yes, I
All day, every
Yes.
day. Yes.
I have 2 large pizza every Sunday.
Okay, clearly Eddie has developed since then, and
Still hope,
our three, and our three guys are still on their way.
We say we love food, right?
Okay, so do you have any embarrassing incidents from your fat days, like along the lines of breaking chairs, splitting trousers, unable to fit into clothes? Or so? Do you have any, Eddie?
The most vivid memory was when my neighbor, the odd job workers, came up to me and said, "Come, stand up straight." So I was wondering what's happening. Look down. Why? Can you see your feet? I couldn't. That was a rude awakening. My belly was in the way. I couldn't see my own feet.
Okay. Wesley?
Well, when I was in primary school, I used to play, as in, you know, primary school kids, you used to run around everything, right? Yeah, so there was this once, I think it was ice and water or something. It used to be a game of tag, okay. So I tried to leap over a drain, and my pants just totally gave way and stepped from the back.
Okay.
So it was like open up from the behind, you know, all the thread, all loose, everything just come out. They can see cannot see my underwear from behind and my butt. So what my friends decided to do was that they decided to staple my shorts together. Like because it's split in the middle, so they tried to staple back. But I think the thing they staple back, right, I sit down, right, thing open up again. Yeah, pretty embarrassing, no?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily at that time, going home wasn't an issue because at least I had somebody I had my dad to fetch me home, so it was still, yeah, it was okay lah. Just that during school,
Okay.
when I was in school, yeah, I was just very chill.
Now, Alfred, we've heard about your story of the split tights, but that was of course not from your fat days.
Yeah. Okay. Well, from my fat days, I would say most embarrassing moments was when during class. You know, when you're fat, you sit down, your belly kind of like bulges out, right? So, in my days, my shirt was a little bit too tight over the years. So the buttons at the bottom kind of split out, and then you can see like what we call zokken. Yeah, and then the best part is the girls beside me will just start laughing, and then just pointing, and then you can't cover it up because it's already split. So like it happens quite often. My girl will actually sew back the button a few times, but then you'll split again, especially at the bottom. I mean, because my pants is under my belly, so it won't split. But the shirt, the last three buttons, it's always opening up, and it's always like staying my belly button. So yeah, I think that's one of the most embarrassing moments.
Okay, Nigel?
Well, for myself, my most embarrassing moments would be 3 times a week, every single week, because as you all know, I was a gymnast. I was in trampoline actually. So
Okay.
like during trainings, when we screw up our routines, right, our coach will make us take off, especially me, take off our shirts. So when we do that, because back then I was in SGI, then we would also have girls from Nanyang Girls High to come and train with us. So we'll be together, so we'll be like, back then I was like secondary school, Sec 1, Sec 2, so when he had to make me take off my shirt, like, you imagine that I had to jump on the trampoline, so it's like bouncing up and down. So it's like, yeah, it was really super embarrassing.
So basically every gymnastics training was your embarrassing
So
moment.
topless session, like if I didn't do my routine properly, then it was just like that.
Quite a wobbly.
Yeah, we take out and jump on the trampoline. Wow, I tell you. But yeah.
So for all 4 of you guys, what was your breaking point or turning point for deciding it was time for you to get fit? Well, Eddie told us about the whether you can see your toes, right? That was your moment. What about the rest of you?
Well, for myself, it was very similar to Eddie actually. It was like sort of like a moment of enlightenment when I was bathing. I was in the shower, then I wanted to, just like him, I wanted to look down. Then I looked down, I saw nothing. I only saw the floor and my tummy. I was like, where are my toes? Then I was like,
Where did you go?
then I was sucking my tummy. Then, oh, that's my toes down there.
Oh, really?
Of course, the other stuff that I didn't see lah. I wasn't sitting here.
Just
Yeah, but yeah, it was that moment. Then I thought to myself, I gotta do something about my life, you know. Gotta lose that belly fat and everything.
Okay. Alfred?
Actually, for me, I always had a problem of bullies, and but what really changed me was the rejection from a girl in secondary school. I had countless rejection, but there was this one girl who was pretty nice to me all the way, even though I was fat. And it's a childhood story. Everyone has it. Everyone who has been through this would have a person, like a friend that of opposite sex was actually pretty nice to you, just not because they are interested in you, just because they are nice by nature. And sometimes as kids, you are naive, you take it wrongly, and you feel that there's a mutual attraction. So, yeah. During Sec 2, after the final year exams, asked her out, and practically more of like trying to ask for a relationship. But so I was rejected at the end of the day. So I was determined kind of reason why. So I actually walked her home, and I asked her, so what's wrong? I thought you were nice, I thought we were good friends. She said very plainly that, because I'm not physically attractive to her. And I accepted the reason, because it's always been a problem, and it's part of why I felt really unconfident about myself. And I guess that was when it was holidays after that, so that was the time where I decided to change. And well, puberty kicked in just nice, so I look better when I was Sec 3. Yeah. I guess that's my turning point.
Did you get together then?
No. Eventually, no, we still did not get together because it was pretty awkward after the rejection. It's very hard to be friends.
Wesley, how many jobs? Was it you with the peanut butter?
No.
Okay.
I don't really like peanut butter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where was your turning point?
I have to say I had two turning points actually.
Okay.
One was the initial phase where I decided to lose weight, and the other one was to really build up, like to look.
Build up an answer.
To look aesthetically pleasing.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first point was I was in this exchange program, internship program for my polytechnic days, for the polytechnic days. I had 4 months away from Singapore, and I thought, hey, why not take this chance to lose the weight?
Where was it?
I was in Liverpool.
Okay.
It's okay. So I thought, why not use this chance to surprise people, I guess. So 4 months, I ate less, I worked out more. So I came back losing enough weight to popular see a difference, but I still wasn't very nice looking, I'd say. So I thought then the other turning point was when I was injured during my stint in OCS. I was an office cadet, and I got injured, and so I was therefore put out of course. And I felt like I needed something to work towards, and I thought, hey, why not, train hard to look good, for aesthetics,
Okay.
Aesthetics.
Okay, so is there deep down inside you guys still a little fat kid? Sort of like physical insecurities or low self-esteem, poor self-image? How do you cope with it? Eddie, perhaps?
Now that I recall, actually, back in my childhood days, I remember there was this program called Friday Background, where they were featuring obese kids in Singapore, because Singapore is getting more and more affluent. So our lifestyle had become very, how should I say, kids were being very well pampered. So one fine day I was in my school canteen and holding on to an extra large bowl of noodles. Lo and behold, when I turned around, there was a TV camera right in my face. It did not strike me at that moment that they were filming a program. All I knew was they were recording something. It's only on that very night itself when I went home and sat down to watch TV with another bowl of something that I saw myself on TV. So that really left a lasting impression that we are not socially acceptable. So why is that the case, you see? So therein also lies a deep-rooted low self-esteem that started from young, from all the teasing and ostracizing. So over time, I think it's formed the root of our personality. It also determines how we react when we are in a social setting. So it's all about how much you want to change. Let it manifest through your efforts.
Wesley?
Yeah. Well, when you talk about the inner fat kid, right, I really jumped to the point where I actually have this urge to eat everything inside, but I always suppress this urge because I'm afraid that if I go overboard, I might get addicted to that sort of lifestyle again, and I won't be able to, I'll go back to the old Wesley where we called Wesley, and yeah, this type of name, right? In primary school, yeah, exactly, but now it's okay. Yeah, I used to be called Wesley, bad skin, bad hair, bad weight. So it was really a major blow to self-esteem. And I really, when you talk about insecurities, I'm really afraid to go back to that sort of image of myself. So
how do you cope?
Actually, that image serves as a reminder for me to never go back to that.
Okay.
So that's my form of motivation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alfred?
Well, as much as I'm confident in myself and arrogant sometimes, I still have this underlying fear of rejection. Rejection as in failure, basically. Failure to achieve something that I want. Could be rejection from someone I want to ask out. Could be rejection from something I wanted but failed to get. Because I was easily rejected without a given reason when I was younger. That, can I eat that? No. Right? Things like that. So, how do I cope with it? Some things just cannot be expected. You don't get everything you want. So, I've learned to let go. That's the truth. That's why I guess we must have a balance in everything. We must have a balance in adapting to situations. So I guess that's how I cope with it.
Nigel?
Well, for myself, the fat kid will always be there within me. So I don't think it will ever leave. It will always be part of me. And in some way, in one way or another, on one hand, it's quite good in the sense that it keeps me to push myself towards self-improvement and also towards working hard, making progress from where I was last time. And then, on the other hand, it's not really good. It hinders me because it kind of, I think you guys can relate to when I say that I was bullied and ostracized a lot of many times more than I wanted to. I think my mind is kind of draws a blank right now because I can't really remember. I think it's like forgot on purpose, but I remember I was bullied quite a lot, especially during gymnastics training. And so like when I think back, it's like never again. I told myself I'd never go back there again. And well, now that I'm here, people do treat me differently. It's really quite obvious, and I can remember the difference in the treatment. It's quite sad actually. Like, people treat you depending on how well you look. So
official world,
yeah,
really.
I keep that in mind every single time I talk to everyone right now. So when I see someone who's really when I see someone who is fat right now, I really can empathize with them because I really was in their position when I was young back then.
So, drawing on that point, do you think that having at one point being fat and unattractive and bullied and ostracized, and now you're on the other side, do you think that's made you a better person and made you more sensitive to the world around you?
Definitely.
So, would you say it's a good thing to have?
It's good because you have been there, and compared to someone who has not been there, you might not be able to relate to the people who have gone through this before.
Brilliant.
I think it's good because we are here because of hard work. We are here because of discipline. We are here because we made a point to achieve something we wanted in life. And it's not because we are here just because we are born to be like that. So I think it's good because firstly, it tells us that we must work hard for things we want to achieve. Yeah.
Okay, so as it's often said that it's tough to lose weight, it's even tougher to keep the weight off. And many who have fought this battle often rebound and pile back the pounds. In your opinion, do you think people who rebound are failures? Why or why not? Any one of you want to answer?
No. No, they're not failures. Because if you do something once, you can do it another time. Because you already have the basic knowledge of what it takes to say lose weight. For example, people who go bankrupt, they will come back again most of the time because they already have the knowledge on it already. Yeah.
Does everyone else agree?
Yeah, I agree because I rebounded before a few times. Rebounded 2 times, minimum of 2 times. So yeah, like what Wesley said, I know how to get down to shape again, get back to shape. But there are days where you just want to be a fat boy.
Okay. Steve, do you think? Any opinion on the matter?
Of course, we go through the yo-yo syndrome. So depending on at the stage of our life, what we are going through, and what is your source of relief. It might be food, it might be something else. So wherever you channel your energy to, the result comes out from that. So I think the good news is that it's easier to convert fats to muscles than for a skinny person to build up bulk.
So, Nigel, anything to add to this?
I would say definitely no one who piles up the weight again, I don't think we should consider a failure because like what you guys have mentioned is they've done it before, so they definitely do it again. And also, usually for myself, when I put on back the weight, it's usually on purpose because I want to put on mass, because I want to work out, because I need to gain that extra muscle. So as long as you have a purpose in mind when you do put on the pounds, I think it's fine. I think it's perfectly alright.
So all 4 of you have successfully kept off the excess weight for now. Eddie, it's been quite a while and you are still slimmer than some of our guys this year, without naming names. So what would you all say is your secret to keeping the pounds off?
Having a lifetime commitment to exercise regularly and eating sensibly.
Okay.
By that, I do not mean driving yourself of good food. It's always about input and output. It's not so much what you eat, not so much how much you eat, but what you do with what you eat. That's the bottom line.
Anyone else has anything to add?
Like what Eddie says, it's really a lifestyle change. So once you get used to it, you just get used to it, and yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think it's what you want to do. It's your motive. It's your purpose. It's what you want to achieve at a point of time. If you really want a nice body, you gotta give it. You gotta sacrifice some stuff. If you're okay with just a balanced diet, don't have to be really nice, just look like you're in shape, yeah, sure. Enjoy the good food, work out regularly, keep a balanced lifestyle. Everything's about balance. Everything is about you don't want to be cutting off all the good food and then looking really good, but then you're suffering inside. That's actually depriving yourself of what's out there. So the main aim is basically keep a balance. Know what you want in life. That's all.
Nigel?
For myself, I will follow the mantra of being a strict dieter, not a restricted one. So
Would you say that again?
be a strict dieter, not a restricted one. So by that saying, I would like to enjoy the food I like to eat, but at the same time, I eat in moderation. And also, I make it a point to exercise regularly. So when I mean regularly, I mean every day, 2 to 3 hours a day. So yeah, of course, from how much I eat, I have to do the amount of exercise in order to burn off whatever I eat. And because I love food so much, I have made a choice to dedicate this amount of time so that I can enjoy all the food I want to eat. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, question for Eddie. Back to the topic of the competition. Now that you've had a bit of a taste of what's going on, and then you've had some of us on Facebook for a while, and sort of had a bit of a vicarious observation. Have you any impressions on how Manhunt has changed from when you were in the competition?
I guess the participants are more well chiseled, all-rounded in terms of intelligence, in terms of looks. I'm not saying back in our days we all bimbos or whatsoever, it's just they've improved over time. Evolved, so to speak.
Okay. So what could you tell us about the rounds you had to go through? I mean, in those days there were semi-finals and quarterfinals, were there?
Oh, there were
Various rounds of
a lot of
elimination.
award categories that we have to go through. I think we have, not sure about it now. I'm sure you still have them.
Yes.
Mr. Physique, Mr.
Yes.
Photogenic, Mr. Personality, or what have you. Do you still have Mr. Sex Appeal?
I think they all have that now. So
Yeah. So it's pretty much the same. Same skeleton structure, I suppose.
right. So how many rounds were there? Do you remember?
We lost count. The whole contest took almost 9, maybe 10 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the official photo shoot like back then? Was it indoor or outdoor?
A mixture of both, indoor and outdoor.
What do you remember? What promotional events you and fellow finalists attended?
Back then, our main sponsor was Body Contours, I think. Yeah, and their focus was on slimming. So that's probably played in my favor because they were looking out for something to relate to or someone that can really market their services for them that had some tangible angle. So I think my life story proved to be a good fit.
And clearly, from a slimming sponsor now to supplements and gym sponsors, the field has changed somewhat.
Yes.
So, can you remember the finals night? What was it like, and what prizes did you win?
Can't really quantify them. There were a lot of vouchers that were given after the contest was over. This was done behind the scenes. The cash value in total was supposed to be about 40,000.
Wow, in 99.
Yeah, so
Wow.
to speak. Cash value,
Okay.
so to speak.
But apart from vouchers, were there other
lot of,
things, watches, clothes?
1 year supply of swimwear. And
Okay, I'm awfully curious. One year's supply of swimwear. What exactly does that mean? Does that mean 365 pairs of swim trunks?
you actually go to the sponsor's warehouse and you take your pick.
As many as you are, whatever.
Up to them to decide what they want to give you, and you just never run out of choices.
Okay.
Do you still remember your Q&A during the finals?
Do you remember what your question was?
Very vaguely, but I remember the one that I remembered the most was during the sub-awards night, Mr. Sex Appeal.
Okay.
Apart from having to dress the part, you have to invite a lot of female attendees to show your charm, you know. Basically, we're supposed to invite a lot of female supporters to a pub. Back then was Club Modestos.
Modestos.
Yeah, and I didn't have too much of a social circle, so I invited 2 of my friends whom I met. One was the McDonald's granny.
McDonald's granny.
Yeah, sadly she has moved on.
Okay.
And of course, her daughter, Abigail.
Right.
Those were my only 2 female supporters.
Okay.
So when the time came for us to invite our supporters, or one of our supporters on stage, when they went up, I think they totally stole the crowd.
Wow.
Alright, but back to the question on the Q&A. My question was, with sexual connotation, name 3 most important women in your life and why. Now, how would you answer that? Imagine if you're on stage. All eyes are on you.
And you're in a tiny pair of swimming trunks, right?
No, it's
No.
up to you to decide what you want to wear.
Okay.
And you have to wear tastefully, with sexual connotation, or rather with sex appeal,
So what did you wear?
without being distasteful. I think I had a nice leather jacket and just jeans,
Okay.
a Chrome Hearts jacket, so to speak. So thanks to my designer friends who helped me out. So let me ask you, if you were given this question, how would you answer in that setting?
Our boys look terrified now.
Name 3 most important women in your life in that order and why.
In a sex,
It has to have some sexual connotation.
Really?
I don't think I have enough sexual experiences to even list 3 women.
Okay, that knocks you out. Alfred?
I would have a hard time answering that. Because basically you're talking about,
With sexual connotations.
yeah, it's
To say your mom, you're
definitely not relatives. Definitely not family. No way. You have to come up with 3 female friends that would have a chance to embarrass them actually. If people will think of it as you might have slept with them before or you are sexually attracted to them. So I would have to take my buddies. I have very, very cool female friends who are somewhat easygoing and they don't mind. So, for example, I'll definitely pick one of them is this female friend called Rina. Rina of finalists, if you're watching this. Yeah. Basically, she's a model. We model together in defense and also my schoolmate. Like what in relations to sex appeal, she's hot. She's hot. There's a lot of guys who's after her, and you will know why when you see her. There's no reason not to have a sex appeal towards her, even though I'm still sexually attracted to her because even though she's a friend, but she's a really cool friend. She's the only person I'll call regularly to go party with because it's safe with her. And
Bearing in mind, you only given 1.5 minutes.
1.5 minutes, really? Oh my god, no, that's hard. So I would just say
2 at most.
2 at most, yeah. So then I would try to just say like my girlfriend, definitely. Because there's no one else that I'll feel more sexually attractive than her. And then I have a hard time coming on the 3rd one, honestly. Wesley doesn't.
Pass the
I
day.
think I'll just go with Alfred and just name
just go
3 of my
close female friends, right?
most closest female
Who
friends.
aren't likely to get offended, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because this is kind of offensive, right?
Yeah,
So 3 most important women in your life.
Yeah.
3 most important women in your life.
Yeah,
sex appeal.
Yes, exactly. When you say 3 most important women in life, it's simple to name. But then after you come with the
I mean, one of them has got to be your partner, right? The other 2 is going to get you in trouble because your partner.
I'm gonna be
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's hard. So how do you answer it?
Well, I really felt a comment must have gone through my head and struck me silly.
Okay.
And this answer came out. First, it would be my mom. Because
Okay.
because she gave me the tools.
Oh.
the two.
The 2.
Second would be my sorry. Let me try and recall. Mom. Pause for a pause. Oh yes, sorry. Second would be my teacher because she taught me how to use them. Last but not least would be my doctor because she kept me healthy and continue using them.
Genius.
You killed it, yeah?
Gentlemen, you have lessons to learn from the master.
Genius.
So now that you're a former Manhunt winner, what winning tips would you offer to our current batch of finalists for the competition?
Well, be yourself, be real, and discover what's your unique selling point and focus on it. Be confident. That's the bottom line.
What about the most dreaded Q&A session? Do you have any tips for that?
Any tips for answering Q&A
Yes,
questions?
Just don't stress too much about it. Keep it short and sweet. The last thing you need is a long cock and bull story, which will bore the crowd silly and really it's a huge turn off. So answer straight to the point. That's what I would do. And really speak out loud because that projects your confidence. The moment you stammer, the moment you pause, the moment you start to wonder, like what I did just now, it really spoils the moment. Alright?
Okay, so question for Alfred, Nigel, and Wesley. Chu Chomeng and Romeo Tan have been well known for going from fat to fit and then going on to join Star Search and then carving out successful acting careers in MediaCorp. Having lost excess weight yourself and looking all handsome and hunky now, do you have any aspirations to become an actor in MediaCorp or perhaps another media celebrity somewhere?
Well, for me, yes, actually.
Okay, tell us about it.
I want to stand out. Basically, I did a YouTube series called It's a Date. Sorry. Yeah, I did a YouTube series called It's a Date before, and well, when I was doing that series, I realized that actually I was actually in the video because I was starting a new job as a personal trainer. So that series actually gathered over like 500,000 views for 3 episodes. I mean, it's like 200K each. So that was really impressive, and that was when I realized that media is the way to go. If you want to make a point, you want to show, you want to be expressing a message, because media is the way that it reaches out to the most number of people in the shortest number of time. And if you're popular enough, you're likable enough, people will know you, will like you, and they will support you. And in my perspective, I think that acting can be a career. I mean, people has been making career of acting or being a media star. Look at, they don't have to be on TV sometimes. It can be on YouTube. YouTube is so popular right now. It can be just bloggers. It can be Instagram stars. Right? It's so popular right now, and they are all around our age, actually. So yeah, why not? I'll definitely consider it.
Okay. Wesley?
Well, I have my, as in, when I was young, I wanted to be an entertainer. I tried once when I was in poly. I auditioned for Singapore Idol.
Aha.
But obviously I failed.
Did you get onto the video bit?
Sorry?
Are you actually in the TV show?
No, I wasn't. I didn't make it through the first round. Yeah. But at the point in time, I wouldn't credit to really bad singing. I would think that it was because I just had low self-confidence.
And maybe you didn't look right?
I didn't look right. So didn't portray the right image, I guess. Yeah. So,
just have to sound right.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Realistic society are supposed to be shown.
So would you still possibly consider acting? Or, or media life?
I'm actually quite interested in that. I went for several casting shoots, but haven't had any response yet. So.
Okay. And Nigel?
Actually, when I was young, I did aspire to become an actor because watching, young as a kid, watching all those actors acting out those TV drama and those entertainment shows, it really kind of endearing to watch them, So I did for some point of time have that kind of urge to want to be part of the movie called industry and everything, but somewhere along the way, that thought kind of left me because, like, getting the whole grind of the whole educational system. So until after I joined Manhunt, then I got a lot of casting calls from a lot of companies. So I kind of had a few auditions as well, same as Wesley, but similarly, also not much hope in that so far. But I'm not giving up, so I'm gonna keep up my hard work and just keep at it.
Okay, so imagine you're a contestant on Star Search and you have up to 1 minute to introduce yourself in Mandarin and leave a lasting impression. What would you say? And
look down on us.
okay.
The reason why I went to poly was because I didn't take Chinese, man.
Well, tough. If in Singapore generally, if you want to make it in showbiz, Mandarin is the biggest market. So Wesley, all your 老师 are watching.
大家好.
Okay, sit properly. Don't expand at the camera and give it your best shot.
大家好，我叫学文，我今年23岁。我讲的华语没有那么标准，没有那么顺。可是令我最有成就感的是我欧水准华文考试，考到了一个 distinction。所以我觉得这是对我来说令我最骄傲的一件事。那Manhunt qualifying for Manhunt 是第2件事， OK，就这样，谢谢。
Hey, you guys don't laugh, but you don't know the word for distinction in Chinese either.
I think it's U turn. Is it U turn?
I have no idea. Okay, Alfred, next.
Yeah， 大家好，我叫陈巨荣，今年25岁，当前是Manhunt 2014的对，我希望我能在这个培训，我希望我能在这个比赛中可以为我自己得到更多的成就感，谢谢。
Well, for me, it goes something along like this. 大家好，我叫胡文硕。虽然我会练提到很大字啊，可是我觉得大家会觉得有一点，对我来有是说会有兴趣的是，虽然我提炼到那么大字啊，可是一向来从小就一直很怕这种小昆虫、蟑螂那些，所以我跟自己讲，从小以前跟自己讲，以后找老婆啊，不可以需要找那些老婆，不会怕蟑螂，因为如果我们在一起的时候，如果蟑螂会出来啊，不堪设想，知道吗？不可能，所以以后找老婆需要找一个不可以怕蟑螂的，所以我可以，
天下第一生主义。
对，就是这样嘛。我发现你们。
Do you speak Chinese, bro?
Did you just talk about cockroaches in the Star Search intro?
Yeah.
I think I did.
Well done. So, on a final note, what would all four of you gentlemen like to say to all the fat boys or men out there who might be struggling with weight and self-image and self-esteem issues and thinking, "Ayya, they all look so good, I won't ever stand a chance of trying out for Manhunt Singapore." Eddie, what do you have to say to them? To the fat insecure kid out there.
Well, the fact that all four of us are seated here, I think it stands to testify that it can be done. In my case, I've been doing it for the past coming 4 years. So why not you?
Great. Wesley?
Don't let the naysayers put you down. Initially, when you start losing weight, people will start saying like, why do this, why do that? When you go on a diet, they'll tell you, just enjoy yourself. Those people are the naysayers, the haters, the people who pour cold water on you and talk behind your back. There's a reason why they're behind you.
Alfred?
Well, if you want change, don't just sit there. Go out and do it. Don't be in front of the computer the whole day watching videos like this and then not doing anything after that. Okay, go. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm just saying, just go out and do it. If you don't know how to do it, use your computer. Let's Google. Okay, so yeah, make a change in your life. No one's gonna help you. Every man for themselves.
Well, for myself, I would say nothing worth having in life is ever easy to achieve. So I would just like to leave you guys with a quote by Martin Luther King Jr., which is basically, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do what it takes to keep moving forward. So whatever it is, baby steps, regardless, keep moving forward. Look towards your goal and focus and push on. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.